Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome, of course, to me showing you the Mistlands boss. Yes, the PTB's only gone live, but for you who love a bit of spoiler action, I'm going to run you through what to expect with it. It is absolutely terrifying. One of the toughest boss fights I think I've ever played, let alone in Valheim. Although there is a method with a lot of cheese that you can probably do it in about 15 to 20 minutes if you're patient. So I'm going to show that off as well. But I'm pretty sure that'll be patched. And that's what PTB is for, right? To test these features so everyone can't maybe take advantage. So let's go, leave a like. Make sure you subscribe for the best in Valheim guides, gameplay and news. And let's go. So how do you get in? Well, first of all, just like the rest of the bosses, you'll find a location stone in one of the dungeons in one of the crypts or the abandoned infested mines. That will reveal the location on the map. You also need to be on the lookout for something called fragments. You'll find these inside the infested mines and then craft 9 of them up into the seal breaker. Obviously, not every infested mine's guaranteed to have one. The first one I encountered didn't, but yeah, that's the coup. You're meant to find them in and around the infested mines or ruins. Hands down, the opening sequence is amazing, but what is the actual boss of Mistlands? It is, of course, a queen. It's the mother of all of the seekers that you may have been encountering already or seeing in videos. It's pretty involved getting access, but yes, when you spawn in, you will notice that the boss is actually roaming around straight away. You don't actually have to summon it. You can repeat the boss after you've defeated it initially. That's when you will have to traditionally place something at the altar, which I'll show you, and then you can summon it and fight again. But here it is, the Queen wants it all. Pretty sure that's a reference to Queen, the band, as in one of their songs, I want it all, I want it now. So it's absolutely monstrous. It does a few different attacks that make it really challenging. Obviously it is more susceptible, I think, to magic. It's going to summon more of the seekers as well as the smaller seeker broods. And it's all put in a massive dungeon just filled with stairways that you can clamber up and escape. You will absolutely need the brand new feather cape. The risk of getting knocked over or knocked down and being killed by any of the creatures in here is way too great, so you must have the feather cape to get in here. Obviously I'm doing this with cheats and stuff, of course I'm not doing this legit. What do you take me for? But that will come, proper guides, when I spend a bit more time learning stuff about obviously the Mistlands. But it's absolutely ferocious. Just look at the state of that, the amount of pincers on it. It moves incredibly fast, much faster than any of the other bosses we've faced. It has a teleport command that it will do so it can get out of danger. It also spits out poison as you get a bit deeper into it, a huge amount in fact. Not only just the poison, but more of its seeker little broods that will pop out. From what I can tell, if she catches you with that poison, it ranges in time to poison you from 20 seconds to maybe like 6. It all just depends on how much she actually gets on you. She's got a mouth lunge that I'll show you in a bit that does more, and then if you catch in the stream, you also get it. And here you can see all of the little broods spawning alongside. Now they're not difficult to kill on their own, 1 or 2, or in a big bunch with the Ember Staff. And the Ember Staff is pretty good. Obviously you do more extra fire damage on it. But saying that, I found earlier when I was taking on the Seekers, the Ice Staff, the Frost Staff, wasn't doing that much damage compared to the fire. But here, I felt like the Ice, the Frost Staff was doing much better, especially for the Queen itself. Now I am making this look easy. I did boost my magic and the blood magic skills up to 100. Also boosted my blocking skills up to 100 and my running and jumping. Reason being, I just wanted to see what it really takes. Like how much do you really need to have to really take this on? It's incredibly tough. I don't like the new mechanic, I have to say, with the pushback. I think it's a bit too obtuse. It's a bit too much that some of the creatures can absolutely knock you miles. I think it needs to be dialed down just a little bit. Definitely want it in there, but just to be dialed back a little bit. But yeah, here you are floating down. You can see it's really vertical, this boss fight, which again presents another bit of an issue. Attacking enemies when they're not exactly on the same level as you. The only real weapon you can do it with is the spear, and you really got to be on the same path unless you're using the magic, which is, I guess, the answer for that. So yeah, I would focus on getting the magic tools and the weapons like you should do anyway for this, rather than maybe piercing or anything else. I did try a few piercing shots with stuff, didn't seem to do too much damage. Likewise with the sword, it was definitely magic to me that was doing the most damage, or at least using the brand new Adgar. So you end up just running around doing a Benny Hill act, trying to get away from them, fighting off the small little ads and mobs, and then trying to desperately get a shot in. Clearly, I would have been dead a billion times over here if I took any of these shots flush. She will re-heal just like the rest of the bosses can do over time, so you've got to make sure you're on it, but you can actually leave the arena and come back in, so set up your repairing benches outside. Here you can see I'm doing fairly good damage with the ice staff against some of the ads. So I do believe you can actually block the first swipe that she does, and that won't do as much damage as her running attack, which she can do also, and that is a real killer. She doesn't give much warning either, she's about to do it, so yeah, you really got to be careful. It's about 20 seconds if she catches you with her lunge in her mouth, and then maybe anywhere from 6 to maybe 12 seconds if she catches you with any of the other smaller streams of it. With so many ads, if you get caught running around or you get hit by one or two, you can sometimes set off a chain where you just cannot escape, and you'd be dead, clearly. Like, I get it, I speak to the devs, I know they want it hard, and I know the majority of players will like the challenge for sure, but I don't know, it just feels a bit too, like I said, obtuse. Not being able to do anything when you get knocked back like this, I just don't find that as fun as having just something that's just hard to beat. But I'm sure I'm in the minority. I'm sure there's loads of Valheim bros out there going, nah, we can do this. You just got to stay far away from it as possible, using range attacks and stuff like that. To be honest, I should have probably used a crossbow and maybe a bow and stuff to see how much damage it would do, but I just felt like magic was the way with this. So, all in all, it took me about 50 minutes using God commands that I couldn't die, having to repair my armor at least 10 or 12 times. Yeah, that's the kind of level you got to be at. As I said, I was at level 100 with some of the key stats as well. So that's the kind of level you got to expect to do. Like I said, I'm sure pros out there will be able to do it a lot easier. I'm not asking for it to be made super easy. I think this is the point. But yeah, PTB is here for feedback, and I do just want some of them ads not to be able to knock you back as far. That run is exactly the one that does a huge amount of damage. I think that's probably the most. And then you can see the teleport there, where it would literally teleport only a few feet away from you. Although sometimes she does teleport right down the stairway. So I do believe the thing that you get for defeating her probably won't be something we can use until obviously the next biome's added. But right now, when you go and put her head on the actual stone, you get extra percentage increase in mining. But best of all, 100% extra regen for your ether. Absolutely making you a huge powerful mage if you can get this ability. So now onto the cheese method and re-summoning it. You can go ahead and re-summon it. You need to place brute trophy heads. You need 3 of them in fact. So you find the brutes sometimes spawning in and around certain areas in the Mistlands or inside the infested mines. The queen will then respawn, and yeah, you can go at it again. So here is the cheese method. So if you head back to the entrance where you came in, you notice these rocks here, or the walls, these are not breakable, so far anyway, unless the devs change anything. There is a small gap and some of the seekers can get through, but after you take out the ones that might have followed you in, no more will actually come in here as long as you stay inside this area. If you go out to try and kite the boss over, then some may respawn again, but it's still a lot easier doing this method. And yeah, there it is. Use the new hammer or use a sledge and you'll do obviously less damage. Use your magic fire staff, the ember staff, to do it, and you can actually catch it through the walls. Like I said, I'm sure the devs will probably or most likely nerf this, but for some reason you really want to get that done and dusted now. Maybe you're a speedrunner, who knows, then yeah, this is the cheesy method. It's pretty obvious, but yeah, it is one of the problems, I guess, in having a boss pretty confined. You've got to be really careful about this. So I'm sure this will be patched, so take advantage of it now if you want to get all of the goodness from the extra mining buff and the 100% extra ether regen. That cheese method probably took about 12 minutes to do, but obviously again I have got my stats up to 100. I've only recently just completed all of the bosses 100% legit, playing on my game with all my rat bags, live streaming it, and it was a real challenge getting through some of them. Well underprepared we were. We are not doing this underprepared. I cannot see how we'd ever be able to do this unless we've got all of the right correct gear. Whereas in all of the other bosses, we've kind of done it with just the bare minimum. But this one seems super tough. You absolutely need them feather capes. You're going to need magic, and you're going to need to be able to get around and move away from the ads and find somewhere where you can pretty much keep them at bay while you heal up and stuff. So let me know how you find the boss fight. If there's any other cheeses, let me know, and let's hopefully get the devs patching it and getting some more feedback to them. Is it too difficult? Is it too easy? Pop it in the comment section down below. Until next time, ratbags, I'll catch you later.